So NotTopical back with another video. Not Topical, our show is back. First one of the new year. I'm Strange Wang. He is Nate. Top 5. We will be talking about top 5 movies about friendship because A24 is closer. But we start every video with movie news. And just like I mentioned, A24, they've been killing it at award season. Supporting actors, actors, actresses, they've been taking money.
Yeah.
Do you think that is... So first off, I love Short Round, and I'm glad Short Round's getting the love. And I watched the actors table. It was Brendan Fraser, Colin Farrell, Adam Sandler, Austin Butler, and I don't remember the guy's name. I haven't seen it yet. But the Army A24 movie about the gay kid who's recruiting.
Oh, yeah.
He was in there as well. And Short Round was in there. And he talked about how his dream was to be an actor. And, how, Hollywood didn't want him.
Yeah.
And then he watched Crazy Rich Asians. And it inspired him to get back into acting. And, I'm getting a little emotional right now. It choked me up.
Dude, his speech at the Golden Globes, me and Anna are watching Everything Everywhere All at Once tonight. She hasn't seen it yet. And she was she wasn't opposed to it. It's just that movie is weird.
Yeah.
And there are some people that just they have a hard time looking past a weird plot or a weird visual or a weird concept to see the depth of movies.
Yeah.
And I'm not knocking anyone for that. That's just how some people watch movies. So I wasn't pushing for her to watch it really because I love that movie.
Yeah.
I don't want her to not like it. So I was just going to, but I showed her his Golden Globes acceptance speech, and she got freaking teary-eyed watching it. She was like, "We're watching that movie," and I was like, "Yes."
I don't think he should have won though.
I disagree entirely. He's so good.
Brian
in that movie,
Tyree Henry.
He's fine
is the best.
No way.
I disagree.
That movie's incredible. I love Causeway. It's top 10 of the year for me right now. But
I wouldn't say it's incredible. You did make me like it more after we talked about it.
Yeah.
But it didn't make my top 10. Yeah. Top 15 probably.
He has one really good scene in that movie, and I think you're letting that build it up too much.
Maybe so, but I think that should have got over. But they're killing this award season. Obviously, Brendan Fraser, he's taking anything that he's nominated for.
Right.
And probably except for Best Picture. I don't see that. I haven't heard it.
I don't
Best Picture.
I don't think. There's a chance The Whale's not even nominated for Best Picture.
I think it should be. If you're doing 10 movies, how can you not nominate that?
But here's the thing: if you look at the Oscars, they kind of have this pattern. So it's they have the Showstopper movie, which is probably going to be Top Gun Maverick is going to get nominated, and then your legacy directors. So Fableman is going to get nominated. So they kind of have. If you look at a history of Best Picture nominees, they kind of it's almost like they have slots that they're filling.
Yeah. And
I think that Banshees of Inisherin or something like that is going to take the independent small film that has the big.
I'll take it.
No.
Have you seen it yet?
Banshees, no. But I think that's going to take the small independent film with the big name actor in a slot for a nomination.
We're doing top 5 movies about friendship, and I was like, if he's seen it, that's going to be on this list.
It probably would be. So my plan.
I'm so surprised.
I'm off all weekend, so my plan this weekend is to track down and watch the last 5 2022 movies that I have on my list.
I still can't find After Sun, and I'm not renting it for $20.
That's still ridiculous. It's still too much. $20 is too much.
But everyone's saying that's low key one of the best movies of the year, top 3.
Yeah,
there's been a lot of people's number ones.
Yeah, from the stuff that I've listened to, I don't know that it has a chance to get nominated because you're getting your film nominated for Best Picture. The more podcasts I listen to and the more stuff I watch, the more I realize how truly political the Oscars is, and they just don't have a huge campaign for it right now, but it is starting to get a little bit of a surge. Yeah.
So what's been winning Best Picture at the Globes, the SAG?
Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah, I saw that. Rightfully so.
I think Banshees.
That's the one I see winning at the Oscars.
Got one so far.
Personally, I want to see Everything All at Once. Secondly, I want to see Top Gun. Just because, honestly, political reasons too. If Top Gun wins, people are going to fucking, like, watch the Oscars next year just because a movie that they liked won. So I think it's going to go, those three are, like, the front runners to me, I think.
Yeah, so Everything Everywhere All at Once won at the Critics' Choice Awards. I'm pretty sure it won at the Golden Globes. But let's see. The Fabelmans won at the Golden Globes. That's right. So yeah, Fabelmans and Everything Everywhere All at Once are the ones that are kind of winning the most now.
I wish you've seen Fabelmans so this would be a more interesting conversation, but Fabelmans is very good.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple scenes in it that holds it back from being...
Yeah, but here's what The Fabelmans is. I haven't seen the movie. It's directed by Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, I know.
It's basically, it's essentially an autobiographical thing. It is about a kid who loves to make movies. And god dang, the Oscars freaking love movies about making movies. Yeah. So, like, it's got the right stuff for that. I would rather see Everything Everywhere All at Once win as well. But
speaking of that, and how you and your wife, your relationship to watching that movie, I feel the same way about that. To, like, what's a perfect movie in the sphere?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's why, to me, I'm like, that's not a perfect movie. That's why Ex Machina is not a perfect movie. To me, those are 99.9% movies.
Mm-hmm.
But there's either a weird scene in it with homie dancing, or Everywhere All at Once is just itself.
Yeah.
And I think they're too weird to be perfect movies.
I think that's bullshit. I hate the word weird. I hate it. Like, that's just such a subjective thing. It's like, the fact that anything is considered weird means that society has just settled into this idea of what they think is correct. And that's where, don't get me wrong, I'm not going super deep into this, but, like, concepts like that are how you get, like, things like racism and biases and stuff like this, because culture gets settled into this. Yeah. This is what is most comfortable for us. Therefore, anything that is out of our comfort zone is weird, or we're better than it. Yeah. Or things like that. So it's like, look, if sci-fi isn't your thing, that's fine. That doesn't make it weird, because I could go on Reddit right now and find an army of people who can't stand biopics. They want science fiction.
Redditors are weird people, though.
Well, I mean, I'm not...
They're the mole people of the internet, dog. They're usually some strange stuff on Reddit.
There is some really strange stuff on Reddit. Reddit has become more moderated. I think it was like in the last 5 years they like really updated kind of how they regulate things.
Really?
But, yeah.
I just assume it's the Wild Wild West, because that's why I go to bootleg OnlyFans.
Yeah, I mean, it used to be, but like now they cleaned up. They cleaned up like the bad stuff. So like you can't.
Oh, the dark earth.
You can't.
Dark web.
You can't go to like the like rape porn subreddit anymore, because like. But that was a thing. Jesus. It like literally like that was a thing. So.
The way I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing like how like that's the one you throw out there. Like one day Nate's sitting there. He's like, "Damn it, the Redditor monitors got me."
No, but like. I just read about stuff like this.
Fucking. But to me, like, if I had to, like, someone asked me, like, top 5 perfect movies, Rear Window, Jaws, obviously those two are in there for me. Citizen Kane.
You put some respect on the Raiders.
Citizen Kane. Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Ex Machina.
You think those are perfect?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't...
You don't think Everything Everywhere All at Once is perfect?
No, I was about to say, I don't think that I don't have an argument prepared for that at all. That I loved that movie. I thought the comedic aspects of it fit perfectly. They didn't feel forced or pushed. It was the perfect length. Acting's incredible. Story was fun. It made me like absolutely sob, like I don't think I can argue that.
It's like I said when I like did my top 10. I probably said in the review too. I went to go see this movie with someone, and after the movie was over during the credits, she looked over at me and was like, I understand why you love movies so much. And I think that's the most perfect compliment to ever give a movie.
Yeah.
That I didn't know until that. Because I went and she was like, it was one of those things where it's like, oh, like, let me hang out with you, let me go see a movie with you. And I was like, you're not going to like this movie.
Yeah.
In my mind, I was like, you're not going to like this movie. Like, little stuck a little rich blonde girl, you know, like,
yeah,
fucking showed me wrong. But I think non-biased, I think it's fair to say Ex Machina, Everything Everywhere All at Once, the two best A24 movies. You don't agree? You're thinking.
mid-90s is an A24 movie.
I said non-biased.
Okay.
People get offended by words. I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
It's very authentic to what people would say in the 90s.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you that those are their two best movies. It was coming from you. It was.
If this was favorite, mid-90s is up there.
Yeah.
Good Times might be ahead of Ex Machina, but maybe not. Anyways, agreed. Two best A24 movies.
Yeah. Running through it in my head, I don't think that I can immediately disagree with that.
Which one you going with first? Which one's better?
Out of Ex Machina or Everything?
Because they're 180. Like, they're so different films.
Everything Everywhere All at Once is, to me, much more rewatchable.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's a thriller.
Than Ex Machina.
It won't be as thrilling if you watch Ex Machina 3 times a year.
I would take Everything Everywhere All at Once. That's mostly because I'm really, really fucking tired of AI is going to take over the world movies.
I agree with that.
So it's just like, and that's not Ex Machina's fault. That movie's incredible. That's just like a bad taste that I currently have in my mouth because Megan has a 90-something% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Bro, that movie's not good.
I haven't seen it. I'm going to now just because why not? But
I don't know why people think that movie's funny. I didn't find any of it funny. And like I can understand if like the wide audience, like the unwashed masses of the movie theater people, they were like, oh, that's a 95%. But they're not. People have came up to me and was like, oh, I watched that Megan movie I've seen so much on TikTok and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't good.
Yeah.
And I'm like, holy shit.
I don't have an answer for it.
Maybe it's the humor and like it's not like I don't even know what to call it. Anti-Dave Chappelle humor. What's that? What would that be?
So it's like PC?
Yeah. They're like PC, up-to-date, moderate humor, hipster humor. It's not even that.
Huh.
It's just bland.
Yeah.
The characters are bland. The storyline is predictable. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it.
So, you ever seen The Good Son? The Macaulay Culkin movie?
No.
Back in the day?
No.
I heard somebody say this movie is like Child's Play and The Good Son pushed together. But in the truest sense, because Child's Play has like a pretty decent, it's like a well-received movie, and The Good Son is not a good movie. And they were like, it actually makes perfect sense because this movie really should be right in between them. But it's not. It has a fucking 90-something% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
You can't. I hate to. I don't like thinking this way. I don't want the world to exist this way. When I see that shit, it's like you just can't convince me that a lot of those fresh scores are bought.
Yeah, David Blum, he's fucking blowing somebody.
And I don't care for thinking that way, but it is what it is.
But speaking of unwashed masses, people talking about movies. A lot of people told me Avatar was just fine. It's not that great, but it passes 570 million. The question is, Avatar 3, is it hitting that number? Or do you think, each time it's going to lose 1 million.
No. Not eventually, I think you're going to get there. Excuse me, let me get a swallow.
That garbage orange.
Orange is like the second best Gatorade flavor.
We're going to have that bracket sooner or later, but not today.
So here's the thing. Avatar is like It is what. So to me, you have like how you would score a movie, right?
Yeah.
So whether you use a percentage score, a letter grade, stars, whatever, a movie could have 2 stars, 1.5 stars out of 5, and that movie could still be what I would call like total cinema. In that, like, a movie can be bad, but it could still be the kind of thing that people go to theaters for, right?
Yeah, that's fair.
It can still have that experience. Good example, Death Wish, the Bruce Willis version. That movie was terrible.
It was very fun.
But I had so much fun in that theater. Like, it was such a great theater experience. So it's like, Avatar has that going for it. It is like total cinema. It is a movie theater movie. Watching that movie at home is not going to do nearly for you what it would if you went and saw that on a big screen.
Yeah.
And so that is why it is making the money that it is making. It is an experience. Like, they marketed it well for people who are not like us, who hate movies about water. And so that's what it is. So anyways, we get one every 2 years. That's decently spaced.
They learned from Star Wars.
Yeah, they learned from Star Wars. It's decently spaced. Cameron is in total control. He's got the whole story mapped out. I think it'll be like 5, Avatar 5, and then it'll start to dip. Or something will happen. I'm not wishing this, but he's not young. Or something will happen to James Cameron, and then they don't get made. But
I think they still get made. He probably has the plans out in the open.
He probably does.
With the Disney people. They're paying him that much goddamn money. They know what the fuck's happening with those next movies.
Yeah. So, anyways, I think it's probably going to be at least 4 years before, like, Avatar hype starts dying down a little bit. Unless 3 and 4 just end up being, like, hella good movies. But
I saw this amazing meme of the female lead in Avatar, who is also the Guardians of the Galaxy chick.
Oh, yeah. Saldana.
Yeah, it had her face over Walter White's face from Breaking Bad, and it had all the movies that she's in from Disney, Avatar, like all the Avengers movies. Yeah. Uh-huh. And then it's just this part under it is that big stack of money in his unit that Hero and Bill Burr lay on.
Yeah.
And it's like Zoe said on his bank account. That's what was written on it. But speaking of Breaking Bad, is Breaking Bad, in your opinion, the greatest dramatic show of all time? After this message.
Is Breaking Bad the greatest drama TV show of all time?
1 hour drama. What you got? You got Sopranos, you got Game of Thrones. I don't know how long Stranger Things is.
That's why some of this is so tough for me, because I just don't watch TV like that. So, like, my opinion is really not...
You watched the greats.
The go-to on this.
Some of the greats. You've seen Game of Thrones, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel
about it? I saw the first 2 seasons.
Overrated.
Yeah, I agree.
Not a fan.
It's fun. I love fantasy shit, so I liked it from that aspect, but, like, it was fine.
The editing is really bad in Breaking Bad.
I don't know how to not be, like, biased about this, I guess.
You didn't finish it, did you?
But Breaking Bad?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, I finished it.
Okay. Because at one point you just stopped.
Yeah, no, I went back and... that was, like, 10 years ago. Well, maybe not that long. But, yeah, I've gone back and finished it since.
Well, I guess a better question would be, on a scale of 1 to 10, how many Wangs are you giving it?
I finished it because I wanted to watch the movie.
El Camino. Interesting.
Yeah. And then I was like, well, I feel like I can't watch it. Like, it wasn't FOMO, but it was like, people call this the greatest TV show of all time.
What the fuck is FOMO?
Fear of missing out.
Oh.
So, like, people call this the greatest show of all time. Like, as someone who consumes media and who spends a lot of time talking about it on a YouTube channel, I should probably watch this. Right. So, yeah, 9 out of 10.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
The editing is really bad.
Yeah.
Though. Like, I was because I'm rewatching it because Better Call Saul's ended, and I was like, I watched Atlanta and I really enjoyed Atlanta, but it was only 4 seasons, and I think they're 30-minute episodes, or it might have been 40 with that. Take out the commercials.
I don't watch TV.
I burned through Atlanta. You would like Atlanta.
Probably.
I burned through Atlanta really fucking quickly, and I was like, When I watch a TV show, I watch one TV show a year. Last year it was House. 10 seasons to House. 12 seasons. I don't remember how much. It was long. But I was watching Breaking Bad, and I'm like, dog. I watched Atlanta. I was like, dog, this wasn't enough. I need something else. What else is out there? And I saw Better Call Saul's ended, and I'm like, word. Damn. I haven't seen Breaking Bad in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I rewatched Breaking Bad, and Breaking Bad, honestly, that first season is so well directed to let you know who Walter White is.
Yeah.
And the story, I mean, obviously it's blurred because there's like 5 seasons of it. And like there's 13, 14 episodes a season. But just like how a man mentally feels inside is like the root of what that show is. Like the struggles of toxic masculinity.
Okay.
That's what the show is.
Yeah. Pride, ego. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, holy fucking shit. That's why people like this show so much. They don't realize why they like it so much. But that is why. It's such a good, well-directed show. But the editing is bad. But TV shows are too long. So it's hard to say what's the best.
Yeah.
Sopranos doesn't have investment like Breaking Bad or Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones just loses you too many times. Like, it'll lose you half a season and then come out of nowhere with a fucking banger episode. And it's like, oh, I'm really invested for the next 3 episodes.
Yeah.
What about the 7 that you didn't give a fuck about?
Yeah.
So I guess by default, because I feel like those 3 are like usually top 3 greatest. Like Deadwood, I've seen people throw Deadwood in there.
Huh.
It's on my list to watch sometimes. Honestly, I don't know where to watch it. I think it's on HBO, Showtime. But Walking Dead, that lost people too much.
Yeah.
For like seasons. It lost people for seasons. So I'm probably never going to pick up Walking Dead again. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, that's probably the greatest show of all time. And then I watched El Camino, and I was like, what was in my head that happened to Jesse was way better than anything they could have made. And it was. Like, El Camino's fine. It's like a 7, 6, 8, 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be made. Especially if you're just going to use the same ending to fucking Dexter. Oh, our anti-hero is now isolated himself in a snowy area.
Oh, is that literally? I
That's how
I've never watched Dexter.
Well, Dexter, they like rebooted it, and the extra season of Dexter's okay. It was like, it didn't need to be made, but Clancy Brown as a serial killer is one of the best things Dexter's ever done. Like Mr. Krabs murking bitches. Fucking phenomenal. So, it didn't need to be made, but I appreciate it nonetheless. The same with El Camino. And now I'm watching Better Call Saul. And it's like, I don't know, like, what this dude did before Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
He knows how to tell a fucking story. I don't know what he's going to do next.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not all the way done with Better Call Saul yet. But that's what I've been doing. What have you been doing?
Working. I started playing Elden Ring again.
What the fuck is that?
It's a video game. But okay, so it's from this developer called FromSoft. And
That sounds dirty.
So they make you ever heard of Dark Souls?
Yeah, I've heard of Dark Souls.
Right, so same people that make Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro. And so basically they make games that are incredibly good, but they don't baby you. Like their games are
good.
They're like I don't personally think it's fair to say that they are difficult. but a lot of people think that they are difficult because you actually have to like think about them. So if you're fighting an enemy, you can't necessarily just run in there and start hacking and slashing. Like, you have to time your attacks, you have to watch them, dodge at the right time, wait for openings. So, like, it's a game that it has a really high learning curve, and involves a certain amount of skill, and it also has, like, a ton of, like as far as character customization goes, like, it's an incredible game. It won Game of the Year at the Game Awards this year. And it's the first FromSoft game that I've ever played, and so it's just like an incredibly like stimulating game, and it's like a completely open world essentially. So like lots of exploration, things to discover. So that has been consuming the majority of my free time. Me and Anna have been watching the show called Pressure Cooker, and on Netflix. So it's like we watch a lot of cooking shows. But we watch, like, the competition shows.
Yeah. Gotta keep that shit interesting.
Yeah, so, like, Chopped, Cutthroat Kitchen, all that good stuff. And so Netflix has this show now called Pressure Cooker. And it's basically, like, you know what Big Brother is? The reality show?
I've heard of it.
Yeah, so it's like...
Vote people off.
Yeah, it's like Big Brother's, like, Survivor, but it's, like, a cooking competition. So all these chefs, like, move into this house for however long it takes them to film it, and then like people get eliminated. That was really good.
I actually watched a cooking movie in between Atlanta and Breaking Bad, Burnt.
Oh, Bradley Cooper?
Yeah, pretty solid.
I've only seen like the scene.
That's not even in the movie.
Really?
It's a deleted scene.
Huh.
But it listen. It's a 10 out of 10 scene for sure.
Yeah.
Fuck you, tablecloth, I'm out. It does not fit in the movie.
Well, then I'm glad they cut it.
Because I finished it and I was like...
Where's the Instagram scene?
Are they going to do the rush hour and just throw it in there while the credits are rolling on the side?
Yeah.
It's not even in there. Now YouTube it. I was like, did I like fall asleep for a minute and like miss it? And then like I read the comment sections on the scene, and in the title it said delete a scene, and I was like, oh, there we are.
There you go.
But yeah. So like... Y'all just have cooking nights then? Like, what y'all see, or it just doesn't leave the living room?
See? Well, we have started, really in the last, like, 2 months, have started cooking a lot more. Because we're, like, trying to save up to buy a house, and cooking is just a lot cheaper than going out to eat.
You ain't cooking with eggs.
Well, that's true. We bought eggs yesterday, and they were, like...
That's what the internet says.
It's like almost $8 for a dozen eggs. Freaking bird flu.
Christ.
Bro.
I feel bad for bodybuilders.
People that should be chugging raw eggs every morning. There are other sources of protein. Eggs are just like, that's just a really quick and easy way to get it in there.
I better fucking invest in planters.
But yeah, I've been like, so ever since we started cooking more at home, and I've been watching cooking shows. I haven't tried anything that I like saw on one of the shows, but I have been like, I love to cook. I don't do it that much. I do it more now, but I've been like broadening my cooking.
I think we talked about this when we used to work at one of the restaurants. Cooking's fun.
Yeah, I love cooking.
I'm just too picky of an eater. Fucking.
Yeah, you are a really picky eater.
Like. But if you ever cook anything you think I like, invite me over.
Okay.
I'm free on Fridays and Mondays and Sundays.
Okay.
Free food, can't beat that.
Yeah, good deal.
He's gonna invite me over. It'll be fucking.
Yeah, I just don't even know what.
There's gonna be fucking dino nuggets on a plate with a fucking green leaf.
Yeah, I was about to say I don't know what you. I don't know everything that you will and won't eat.
I don't know, make something Italian.
Okay. Make some stuffed shells or something.
Yeah, leave the Famana cheese out of it.
Ugh. That's fucking
You talking about that soup that we used to eat all the noodles from?
Good soup.
Those noodles?
No. Stuffed shells are like...
Ravioli in like a shell?
They're like big, like... the whole
okay.
shell is a noodle and it's stuff. It's kind of like manicotti, but it's like instead of a tube.
What's that shit we got in trouble for eating? The noodles. Stop that, you fucking cocksuckers, for the soup. You put 3
tortellini.
Yeah, you put 2. Was it 2 and 4?
I make
2 and 5.
I make a very good tortellini soup.
That's what it was. 2 and 5. Right?
Yeah, it was 2 for the cup, 5 for the bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, out here serving tortellini soup that has like 2 tortellinis in it.
People bought it.
People did buy it.
I'm not a soup guy. Soup's like I need to crunch my food. I need to chew it.
So the kind of soups that I make are like very hearty soups.
Like Matt and Jeff? Or the Hardy Boys?
No, Hearty.
They looking for a mystery?
Is that how they spell theirs? Didn't one of them die?
No. One gets arrested a lot.
Oh.
He got arrested in Myrtle Beach for public intoxication.
Wasn't there like a wrestling brother pair and one of them died? Who's the guy that died like falling from the rafters?
Owen Hart. That was in 1990.
His brother wrestles, right? There's a
Bret
Hart brother. Yeah. Okay. See, that's who I was thinking of.
Bret Hart didn't die though.
He didn't.
Owen did. No.
Yeah, I didn't know which one died.
Okay.
I just knew that they had a brother. Like it was one of them died, and they had a brother who also wrestled.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Somehow I got my TikTok algorithm has just started feeding me a bunch of wrestling videos.
I love that.
I do too. I like the showmanship. I just don't I'm not going to dedicate the time to watch a whole show. But it's I'll get top 10 lists. The last one I got the other day was top 10 best returns to the ring. So guys that were out for a while. And most of them were at a Rumble.
Oh yeah, the Royal Rumble, yeah.
And then it's this guy who hasn't wrestled in 5 years. It comes out, but it's just so cool because it's there's 4 dudes or 3 or however he's left fighting in the ring, and the countdown starts, and then this guy who I don't know his theme music kicks in, and then everyone just goes ape
nuts,
shit.
Yeah.
And the wrestlers are all just in the ring literally holding a guy's head back by his hair mid punch, and then a gong goes off or some really noticeable wrestling sound, and the guy's just
my 2 favorite ones.
The Undertaker! Oh my god!
My 2 favorite ones.
He's here!
So Edge, he had a broken neck once or twice.
Yeah.
And finally he started losing feeling in his arm. So he retired for 8 years, and then got medically cleared and came back at the pre-pandemic Royal Rumble. Because 2 months later, pandemic, he couldn't move anywhere. But he came back. I fucking cried because that was my favorite wrestler.
Nice.
That I actually saw week from week. I love The Rock, I love Ric Flair, I love Dusty Rhodes, but I wasn't alive when they were. But the second one is Kevin Nash, the Russian from The Punisher.
Oh yeah,
he came back in the 2012 Royal Rumble as his first wrestling character, Diesel, first mainstream wrestling character, because he worked in WCW and WCW was on TBS. TBS turned classic movies, so they actually made him Oz from Wizard of Oz. And he would have people dressed up it was early 90s. What can you do?
Yeah.
But he came back as Diesel, and Diesel big trucks. So his entrance music goes, and fucking Kofi Kingston's he got his ass beat. He's in the corner. He's like this. He goes, his face makes that for me. And Kevin Nash, cool motherfucker, just comes out, puts on his glove, does his little pose.
That's that guy.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that one. So Kofi Kingston's face makes that shit for me.
It's that's who Kevin Smets was copying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking, speaking of him, I watched his New Japan Pro Wrestling entrance, because him and Scott Hall passed away. They were the outsiders in WCW. Razor Ramon, their careers have been to each other the entire time. But they came out to Killing Me Softly by the Fugees, and it's so fucking cool. You would probably think it's cool.
Probably. The entrances are dope. That's my favorite part.
Oh man, the best entrance I think I've ever seen. Randy Orton's Legend Killer days when he was with Evolution, because you know how they come out the little square.
Mm-hmm.
So like he would come out and do his little pose like that, and like they would have like golden rain pyrotechnics just fall down behind them.
Mm-hmm.
Like that shit's fucking cool. But that's awesome. Wrestling's so weird. That's why I like it. Like, especially if you watch stuff from back in the day. Like, talking about old-timey wrestlers and shit. Like, I watched something like Ric Flair's, like, they have, like, podcasts and everything for, like, old wrestlers and, like, shit like that.
Yeah.
It was, like, a Q&A. And one guy was like, I read in Missy High's book, she was a former wrestling valet, that Ric Flair's catchphrase behind the scenes was, no hair, no flair. Is that true? And it is. I didn't know Ric Flair was a big Bush guy.
I could see it.
He's got, yeah, of course. He's got a fucking documentary I've been meaning to watch on Peacock, but I keep forgetting. I told that shit to our former boss.
And he fucking loved that.
He loved it.
Yeah.
Big Bush guy, too. But, yeah, that shit's fucking funny. Like, it's an oddity. Really, what it
is an oddity, yes.
It's so weird.
But it's a multi-million-dollar oddity.
Yeah.
I think that's what I like about it, is like, I don't get it. It's not something, like I said, I don't have anything against it. I probably will never sit down and watch a whole show unless like I got invited to like do it with someone or something, right? But like, huh?
I was gonna say next time I'm in town,
I would go.
You were my first person last time. I hate driving downtown. That's how much I hate driving downtown.
You don't even have to really drive downtown to get to the Coliseum here.
I fucking paid someone. I bought their ticket, which is essentially paying them like $90, and I was like, the only condition is you gotta drive me there and drive me back. Too much traffic.
And the arena here has like a huge parking lot. You don't even have to like parallel park. You don't like.
Well, the good thing is he paid for it. He's like, oh, you bought me a ticket? Don't worry about it.
Well, that's good.
But I had money for that too, obviously. But yeah, next time, like, you were my first choice last time. Your work schedule is just weird.
Yeah, it's true.
But, dog, this is something. But, other than video games and cooking, nothing.
Nothing crazy.
I've been looking at, I'm sorry, what was you going to say?
No, go ahead.
I've been looking at Birkenstocks.
Huh.
I don't know. I was really hyped about them, and then I saw the price, and now I'm just like, I don't think that's a $135 shoe.
You're looking at like the sandals or like
the fucking potato shoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate that shit.
Like in my head, I was like, "Oh, that's gonna be fire. Let me get a pair." And then I like went on there to look at them. I was like, "Meh, I'm gonna sleep. I'm gonna sit on it."
I'm not a fan. I had not as long as yours, but I had pretty long hair in high school, and I wore Birkenstock sandals like every day for a year. Like that's just what I wore.
Even cold?
And yep.
Socks and sandals?
No, I don't wear socks.
What a fucking...
My mom ain't raised no bitch. Just because you can't handle anything lower than 70 degrees doesn't mean shit.
You're a
soft
fucking
ass
lunatic.
skin.
That's fine. I'll be warm too, bitch.
That feels good to me.
Because you got on a hoodie and sweatpants.
Anyways, a lot of people called me Jesus because I had long hair and I wore sandals to school every day.
Yeah, Jesus didn't have fucking Elvis Presley sideburns on.
That's true. I did have some hella sideburns in high school.
This is back to the movies. But who do you think's going to win? Austin Butler or for Elvis or Brendan Fraser as well?
At the Academy?
Yeah.
It's tough. It's definitely going to be tough. I think with his daughter passing, it's going to change 1 or 2 votes. Lisa Ann Presley. Yeah. I don't know. I will be upset if Elvis even gets nominated for Best Picture. I'm talking about Best Performance. I know, but I'm just like thinking through both of them. I would be less upset if Whale got nominated. I feel like if either one of them gets nominated, they're going to win. Because it's like, they both carried their movie, right? So it's like... Who are you voting for? Brendan Fraser. Me too. And that's just, honestly, that's like some Elvis hate. For the movie, not the person. Yeah. But like...
hate all those fucking old people talking shit on our
Dude,
YouTube video.
My thing is
That shit
like,
was
dude,
crazy.
Tom, like, I love him to death.
Tom Hanks had a trash year.
Tom Hanks is like that. He brings that movie down significantly.
He had a trash year.
And I understand them wanting to attach him to it, but like that fucking accent and like, it's like basically telling the story from Colonel Parker's point of view, essentially. It's like that felt really weird. Like I don't care for that movie that much. It's not I will admit it is not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be, but like it's not a good movie. Like Elvis is not good.
And they make Colonel Parker come out to be the good guy because he's looking out for Elvis's best interest, and he leaves out that Elvis was fucking 14-year-olds at like 25.
Well, they did not really address that as much as they could have.
But funny stuff. A Man Called Otto is a good Tom Hanks movie. It's just what it needs to be.
Yeah.
But come back with the top 5. Here at NotTopical, we're unfortunately poor. And this money you see on screen, that's CGI. That's not real money. Because again, we're poor. So if you want to click in the ad eye in the corner, that video is monetized and we can make money off it. So please go watch it.
And if you click an ad, we make more money. And if you really want to help, there's the thanks button right there below this video.
Today we're doing top 5 movies about friendship in honor of A24's Close, which is hitting the wide public audience this week. He'll tell you about the top 5s, and then we'll get into it.
He's going to start with his 5 and 4. I'll give my 5 and 4, 3-2, 3-2. Then we trade off number 1s. We also have something called the Zemeckis rule, which just means if we both have the same movie on our list, but one person has it 2 spots or higher, we just talk about it once, save some time.
Number 5 for me is going to be Girls Trip, something I know is not on your list. 4 friends, they're coming back together. I felt like there's so many different types of friendship movies that I could only pick one for each.
Is that Scarlett Johansson movie?
No, that's Girls Night Out.
Oh.
This is Queen Latifah, Tiffany Haddish, G.I. Jane, Jada Pinkett Smith. Fuck Will Smith. Jada Smith's in it, and I can't remember the last person in this movie. But friends, they're all coming back together after all these years, taking a girls' trip to New Orleans during I don't think it's Mardi Gras, but like it's a big week.
Mm-hmm.
So you have these friendships, they all come back together. There's tension between some friends. This friend's hiding something. It's essentially a better written version of Grown Ups. And the plot points are just funny. This film's fucking funny. And it introduced the world on a wide scale to grapefruiting. So that gets pluses in my book.
I think the internet did that, but...
Yeah, but they put that shit in the fucking TV commercial. Tiffany Haddish was fucking, you gotta choke on it, make him feel good. Jeez. They put that on the fucking TV, dog. Like, they didn't give a fuck. So, all that shit to me, I mean... It's just funny to me. So, I had to put it in there.
Cool.
It was close, because I wanted to put the Big Chill on my list. Friends coming back together for their friend's funeral who committed suicide. But that's more of a mourning, grief type movie.
Yeah.
Than friendship. Even though, like, friendship plays a huge part in the movie. Essentially, I stuck to mainly friends. Because a movie I fucking love about 2 friends. Men at Work. What's it called? That's not it. Fuck, what's that movie called? Men at Work. That's what it is.
Charlie Sheen and
Millie Estevez.
Yeah.
2 goofballs hanging out, but then they get thrown in a bigger situation.
Yeah.
That's not about friendship. Those are some of my favorite movie friends.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta differentiate. And
yeah.
That's what I did. Number 4 for me. This is gonna be tough because I love this movie. I love these actors together. It's The Odd Couple.
Oh.
Like, bro, Jack Lemmon, Walter Matthau, they're fucking gold together. And as the title says, it's an odd couple. Walter Matthau, he's a fucking sports announcer, analyst for baseball, and Jack Lemmon's a tight ass. He wants the house to be neat and clean. His wife leaves him. Walter Matthau, he's that friend in need. He's that support he needs. But obviously, because it's a movie, they end up balancing each other out, getting exactly what they need emotionally from each other, growing the friendship to be a stronger bond. And I love that. And it's a hilarious movie as well.
Nice.
We're an odd couple.
Kinda.
If we lived together,
Not that odd, but
if we lived together, the house would always stay messy. There's no Jack Lemmon. There would be drink cans everywhere.
that's probably true.
You're bad about plates. I'm not bad about plates. I'm bad about leaving bottles and shit everywhere.
I'm not bad about it anymore.
Yeah, you're right about that.
But
But that's my number 4. Have you seen that?
no.
I want to put Grumpy Old Men. Like, I could have did a list of them, like, top 5 out there, like, Jack Lemmon movies, but they're great.
Nice. Number 5 for me is Plan B.
I knew it was going to be on your list.
Yeah. So there's like kind of a common theme on my list.
Movies like Superbad. That's what you took from this song.
Well, so it's more like, Superbad actually kind of stands out in a way because it's going to be on my list, but like it actually kind of stands out more than the other ones because in Superbad they don't necessarily go through like this major like great length for each other. They're just kind of like alongside each other while there's an elephant in the room, and then it gets addressed. So you have your conflict, and then you have your conflict resolution, which is a good storytelling. Plan B is just about like diehard fucking friendship. Like, how much shit are you willing to go through for this person who is that you chose? Like they are not a blood relative. They are not your husband or wife. Like, they're just your solid person. And in this movie, the answer is quite a bit. Obviously, they have like some conflict in there, but the conflict becomes because somebody's freaking car gets stolen. And any kid would panic and be mad at their friend if some random person they didn't really know that their friend brought into the situation stole their car. And then obviously that leads to like some bigger conversations about some issues they had going on in their friendship, but it gets worked out, right? So, just like their acceptance of each other, how they're different, like they're an odd couple. One's a little more straight-laced, one's like the more outgoing, kind of like party one, but they love each other regardless. So,
time out. I really like both of these movies.
Yeah.
And they came out so close to each other. Is that the blonde?
Plan B is the one where
girl.
Plan B is the one
or
where
is it the Indian girl?
The Indian girl.
Okay.
And the gay girl.
That was the Hulu one, right?
Well, she doesn't know that she's gay until later. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Both really good movies.
Yeah. Plan B is the one where they got to go on a road trip to get the Plan B pill because they won't sell it to them where they're from and blah blah blah.
Yeah. We should do top 5 Superbad ripoffs. Both of those would make my list.
Yeah. I mean,
both really good.
Unpregnant, is that the other one?
Yes.
Yeah. I haven't seen that one.
It's on HBO Max.
I guess the difference, I'm assuming in Unpregnant she's actually pregnant.
Yeah.
Because in this movie she doesn't even know if she is or not.
It's not the Plan B, it's the abortion.
Yeah, right.
You gotta drive somewhere to get an abortion.
Yeah. Number 4 for me, you're not nearly as big on this movie as I am, but I love it, and I went to see it with my best friend. It's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Because friendship is like what this movie is about at the core, and I really love these guys' relationship because it is literally like they are also very different people, but like they've just been there for each other, and that's enough. They don't need to have all these things in common. Like, yeah, they both work in the movie business, but like, one takes care of the other one, and he makes sure that his financial needs get met, but not through handouts. Like, he like helps him get in situations where he can earn his shit. And the other guy helps the other guy out by like being a bodyguard, essentially, being a handyman, being a driver, being someone that he can confide in, because one is a very emotionally unstable person and one is a very steady person. And I really just love their relationship in this movie a ton. And especially like even at the end, because it's like the two of them, they don't ever really have a falling out in the movie.
No,
they're just like, and they're old, and it makes sense. They're older. They've probably had their squabbles in the past, but they've worked through that shit, and they know who each other are, and like, they are just a steady, unwavering friendship from start to finish. And then they go to Italy and make movies together and make a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Like, so, I just really like that's like a different type of friendship than you see. But I just love how like just completely pure and unconditional it is. It's like we know who we are. We know that we are, no matter who else comes in our lives, we are together, and like that's all there is to it. And then there's a flamethrower, and that shit's dope. But
I bet Brad Pitt wouldn't message him back 3 hours later. Google it.
okay, to be fair, you asked me a lot of
Shit,
questions that is like literally in the time that you took to text me this, you could have typed it into Google and gotten your answer.
Yeah, I don't trust the internet. I trust you.
You know how when you text me, you know what I do? I Google it, and then I answer you. And
How
then,
many times do you actually Google, or do you know?
It depends on the question.
I got a question for you.
What is the question? What's the question?
Would have been on your list without you reading the book? Would it be as high?
Yeah, it would have been there.
So with the book, without the book, it's number 3.
It was never going to be. This is 4.
4. It would have been number 4.
It would have never
Always.
been higher than 4.
Okay.
But it's 4. Yeah, for sure. I haven't even finished the book. I'm terrible at reading because I like ADHD. I need like stimulation. So I can like when I'm on night shift and I'm off and I stay on night shift schedule, I can be like, okay, Anna's going to bed at 9. I'm literally gonna have like 9 hours to do whatever I want to do. And in my head, I'll plan it out. I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna spend some time like doing some research on this thing I want to know more about. I'll spend an hour reading. I'll play video games. I'll line up movies that I want to watch, and then I'll start playing a game. And then because of how my brain works, I'll just get latched onto it, and then that's what I do for 9 hours. Like, so I'm gonna finish it at some point. My goal this year is to read 6 books. So like just a book every 2 months.
Gross.
And that's part of my thing for the year. But yeah, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, number 4, and I'm gonna finish the novelization this year.
Well, you don't have to. Readings for Prisoners. Number 3 for your boy, oddly enough, is Clerks 3.
No,
This one snuck up on me. It honestly, like, his last 2 films, like, show so much growth of him as a person, Kevin Smith. It's got me, like, back on the Kevin Smith train. Because I was on it when I first started watching movies. I was off of it. And now it's just like he makes his movies so personal. It's hard not to like have investment. Clerks 3, you got these 2 friends. And they've been friends so long that there's just so much unsaid stuff that they don't want to bother the other one with. And sooner or later, that's going to hit a boiling point. So they have this big boiling point, this big falling out, and it puts their friendship through the ringer, and it tests the friendship better than most movies I've ever seen. Like, at a point, I was like, they're not going to be friends after this. He's going to make this movie where they're not friends. Holy shit. Like, is he going to do that? That's what keeps you invested into the next scene. But this film does such a great job of showing a stagnant friendship, but also reliving the past and making you understand and realize why you love these 2 and why you love their friendship and why they're friends in the first place.
Yeah.
That on a whole scale of friendship, you packed so much into this film. And you got Jay and Silent Bob. They're also friends. So, friendship galore in Clerks 3. Number 2 for me, we talked about it last week, is Good Boys. I like it a touch better than Superbad just because it doesn't have the stupid-ass cops in it.
They're in the movie for like 10 minutes, if that.
But I love Good Boys. I think it's a bit funnier just because these little kids are doing things little kids shouldn't be doing. That's funnier to me. But the main point of the friendship is showing that you can still be friends with people and grow apart in a healthy way where you can have different interests. You don't have to all like the same things. You can have other friends and still hold that special bond. And growing up, I think it's also when I saw this movie too, is when friends started getting married, friends started moving across the country, things like that. And I was like, man, I miss all these friendships. And it just helped put it in perspective. Like, when I see Brian, it doesn't have to be a fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't have to be this big thing of like, well, you're not really in the shoes anymore. I guess we're not friends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And things like that.
That's good. That's healthy.
So, it was just a right time, right place movie as well.
Yeah.
But it's essentially Superbad with little kids. So, watch it. It's great. That's my number 2.
Nice. So my number 3 is Superbad. This shit's funny. The first time I watched it, I was like the target demographic for that movie. So to me, it was just like a really funny movie about these dudes trying to get to a party and blah, blah, blah. And then like I've rewatched, man, let me think. Realistically, how many times have I watched Superbad? Probably 6. Like I've probably seen Superbad
like
6
on
times.
in the background, or I'm watching it top to bottom 6.
I probably watched it like full on top to bottom like 4 times, and then it just like cut it on in the back. But it, like again, because of the way my brain works, cutting something on in the back while I do something else doesn't really work for me, because inevitably my brain is just gonna move to whatever is on in the background, and then I'm not gonna do whatever I was gonna do. But the older I get, the more that I realize that movie is absolutely about friendship. And I don't know that I can really explain it too much different or better than what you just said, but it is essentially about the fact that, like, yeah, you're going to have these friendships when you're young. Ultimately, whether it is because of physical distance or because of, like, you growing into different people, you are not going to be as close to people as you used to be, but it doesn't mean that friendship didn't matter. And it doesn't mean that it still can't continue. It's just gonna change a little bit, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, that's okay. And people are really resistant to that because as humans, we generally just don't like change. But change is good, and we could all do ourselves some good by learning to accept that. But yeah, Superbad. It's freaking funny, and those guys' relationship is just like. It cracks me up, and it is like incredibly sweet. Even at the end, like they make it super funny so that it's not like, so that it doesn't come across as like creepy or together. But like even at the end when they're like getting ready to go to bed finally after it's all over, it's just like their little their little pillow talk that they have with each other. Yeah, that shit's adorable. Yeah, and it's like it's heartwarming. Like that movie has way more heart. Like people think it's Superbad and they think of like Jonah Hill holding like 2 oranges and a spoon by his crotch and like humping the air like it's a penis.
Him drawing dicks as a child.
That is in fact in the movie. It is. But don't miss how much heart movies like that really have, because they do. It's
really funny because like there's probably like 3 or 4 that like don't overlap. But like we're talking essentially about the same 6 people. Yeah. Give or take 3 or 4 on the outside.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's true. Number 2 for me, it might be your number 1. It's mid-90s. Wow, you forgot like one of your favorite movies.
Holy fuck. No. Oh my.
You lose. You're not allowed to be on YouTube anymore.
I do, dog. I knew I was missing something.
Yeah.
I made this fucking list and I was like, that's not right. And I wrote down Rush Hour. I was like, nah, that's not it. That's not it. What is it? Holy fuck. This is a fucking travesty.
That is a travesty. This is like your movie. I thought for sure that I was stealing your number 1.
I got 2 number 1s now. Fuck it.
Okay. Well, yeah. So,
oh my god.
This one has a lot of the same themes, but really when we're starting out, this is about a kid who he's got a rough life. Like his older brother's a dick to him in like a really shitty way. He doesn't understand why. Child of divorce. Like mom's got random dudes and shit around. Like
she for the streets.
Yeah, right. And what he needed more than anything else was a stable family.
Yeah.
But he doesn't get that because especially when you're a kid, you can't control who your parents are, who your siblings are, all that shit. So if he can't get a stable family, the next best thing is some really, really good friends. And that's what he ends up finding in this like skating community. And like they don't care that he sucks. They're just like, dude, you're chill. We like you. You want to learn how to skate, we'll teach you how to skate. And then he learns how to skate. And then they do some stupid shit. But they're good friends. But what really sells this movie for me is just that one conversation when he's in the hospital and homie delivers like the whole, I'm paraphrasing because I can't remember exactly what it is, but like he's basically like, you take like the hardest hits. And the kid kind of smiles because he thinks it's like a compliment.
Yeah, I cry every time.
And then he's just like, you don't have to do that, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, that is good friending right there. And then like him and like shit fuck's relationship or fuck shit's relationship, where it's like they've essentially been the same person their whole life, but now they're just kind of at that super bad crossroads where one got into the good college and one doesn't think he can get into the good college. He's self-sabotaging.
The priorities
and
change,
yeah, and like he doesn't want to give up the life that they have now, but this guy realizes that their life isn't super great and that like they are all capable of more, and he's not going to sell himself short and he's going to go for it. So like things that are never just like flat out expressed to you in the movie, but if you watch it and pay attention, you can see like there's just so, and like you even got like you got Sunburn, who's like when you're first introduced to him, he's like just kind of the dopey, like dumb seeming one.
No,
but
that's
then
fifth grade. Sunburn is the kid.
The white kid with the camera.
No,
right?
that's fifth grade.
Oh, see,
fourth grade. Fourth grade. That's
right. Whatever. Fourth grade. So it's like, but then you find out this kid has like a passion for like filmmaking and stuff. Yeah. He has depth to him and all that stuff, and it's like, and then you got Sunburn, who's like Ruben.
He's a Mexican kid.
Yeah,
and mom is abusive.
Right.
But Sunburn is...
You just talk about the movie.
All right. Top 10 favorite movies of all time for me. I cannot believe I missed this and left it off my list. But what does it for me is the scene where he's like... He's obviously going through some shit. And big homie's like, hey, let's go skate. And he sits him down, he talks to him, and he's like, yo... Ruben, his mom beats him. Fourth grade, his family's poor. They can't even afford fucking socks.
Yeah.
Like, everyone has their shit, but you wouldn't trade your shit for someone else's shit. And just like, he hits them with that, like, what you need to hear. But then he also is like, we're going to skate, we're going to hang out, we're going to forget about it. Type shit. Because... he looks up to his brother. His brother hates him and wants nothing to do with him. His brother tainted his mom for him. And he's like, all right, I've been seeing these things and it's been kind of odd. But my brother, like, made her out to be such the bad guy.
Yeah.
That now those little things are big things and I hate them. And again, like you said, it's like he's finding that family with these friends that he's always, like, needed. And it's, like, one of the most beautiful things. This movie makes me cry. Once or twice when he says you don't have to take those hits.
Yeah.
That gets me every fucking time.
Yeah.
Every fucking time.
Yeah, that's good shit.
Like, I love this fucking movie. And it's so fucking funny. It's so authentic to what the 90s were. Like, that little kid, even though I wasn't born, like, in the I was born in 96. But I grew up on Ninja Turtles. Wrestling. So when he has the little wrestling buddies on the bed, he has Ninja Turtle sheets. And his mom, she's watching my favorite scene in Goodfellas. You got one dog looking this way, you got one dog looking that way. And the guy's like, what do you want from me? Oh, well, what's wrong with that? Hey, there's nothing wrong with it. Favorite fucking scene in that movie. The movie just talks to me in a way that I cannot explain, but friendship's the core of that movie, like he said. And I'm a fucking idiot for forgetting that movie.
Womp.
But it's my number one, which should have been my number one. What should have been my number two is Lethal Weapon. It's another odd couple movie about this being there for what you need for your friends. These are partners that turn out to be friends, and it's about trusting the other person. I'm taking the franchise, really, but the first movie's there.
Franchise makes more sense in the terms of friendship, I guess.
But you gotta have that scene, the ending, to like really solidify the friendship and trust. Because he invites him over to dinner, and that's when you really get to see who Raj is as a person, and he's not such a hard ass. He's not fucking with me just to fuck with me. He has a family that loves him, and this is who he's doing it for. And it opens him up to a vulnerability to let Mel Gibson in a little bit more, and not just be, oh, I'm a cop, I got crazy eyes. I'm probably poking people and shit. Like, he's a lunatic in this movie. So the dinner scenes, that really opens him up and to like let the walls down. And that's how you build a friendship. That's how you start the friendship. And then the ending, one of the greatest endings of all time, where he's like, Raj, let me at that motherfucker. So he unhandcuffs fucking Gary Busey, and they fucking fight like men. And the trust is there. He's like, back off. He needs to handle it. Mel Gibson, he's whooping Mr. Joshua's ass. And then together, to solidify their friendship, they both pull their Glocks out and shoot that cocksucker until he's fucking stained on the fucking front yard. That solidifies their friendship. And you can see their friendship grow and blossom in the other three films, but that first movie really encapsulates becoming someone's friend. And the rest of the films are just them being great buddies. Being there, growing friendships. Raj, I see you struggling with your daughter and your son. Let me be there. Let me show support. And they're fucking great. But mid-90s is the greatest movie about friendship.
Yeah, after talking about mid-90s, I kind of wish I'd flip-flopped my 1 and 2. Whatever.
I think about that.
It's not even on your list, so...
It is. It's my code number 1.
Right, okay.
You didn't hear me?
So, my number 1, just think about it in terms of straight friendship. What?
I thought that was your number 1.
No.
Oh, yeah, you should have flipped mid-90s then.
Yeah, I'm saying I should have flipped mid-90s.
I'll take the back.
Okay, yeah. Anyways, my number 1 is 50-50.
I'm all over the place today.
Yeah, so like, you get the Seth Rogen zaniness in this movie, sure, but it's another movie that is just like about an incredibly pure friendship, because it's like, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, he's got cancer, that's bad, right? Who's there for him? Not his like incredibly long-term girlfriend who should be, she's off screwing some like hippie art dude. Who catches him? His best friend, because he knew some shit was not right. So I love that scene, but it's just like to have someone who's just like so unconditionally looking out for you. I really love that, and it's like they still have their issues. Like, yeah, Seth Rogen's character, he's kind of trying to take advantage of the fact that he's got cancer a little bit. Like, he doesn't know the right things to say sometimes, because how could anybody know the right thing to say to someone who thinks they're going to die, you know? But, like, he's there with the treatments with him. He's there at the hospital sitting right next to his parents. Like, in terms of movie friendship, this is, like, an all-time great to me, because it's just, like, it's just his dude. And, like, a lot of people, when shit gets hard, they just kind of go the other way. They don't want to deal with it, instead of, like, diving in the shit with the person who got thrown into it, whether they wanted to be there or not. And so I love that there's an on-screen character that just so like freely and willingly does that for his friend. So big fan. Mid-90s should have been number 1.
That might be the biggest miss on a top 5
ever. Yeah,
ever. Like, we would have to go back and watch them all, but holy same haircut. Tell us down below in the comment section. It's such a small movie, and we're making such a big deal out of it that majority of people watching this video are probably like, fuck, it's mid-90s.
Well, I hope they go find out.
I hope they do
excellent
too.
Movie. Yeah.
Let us know in the comment section below what is your top 5 favorite movies about friendship. Scroll back up, hit the like button, share the video, and subscribe.